Well, my next guest is an electrifying, dynamic performer known for his soaring vocals. He's originally from Vernon, BC, and lived in Red Deer, and he's about to embark on a national tour. It's my pleasure and privilege to welcome to the Off the Record podcast, Curtis Labelle. Thank you for...
That was fantastic, Nick. Thank you so much for such an introduction. It is my pleasure to be here on Off the Record podcast, and let's make it a success.
Yes. Well, first of all, my question to you is, I know you've been performing for a long time, and so what are your earliest memories of playing music, and what do you remember?
Yes, I have been playing for a long time. I've been doing music. When people say how long I've been playing music, I say it's since I've been in my mother's womb, so almost 40 years. But the first memory that just popped into my head was my first Christmas concert, where I played What Child Is This? I can't remember the church that I played it at, but I practiced and practiced and practiced and practiced, and I feel like I nailed it. I'm pretty sure I didn't, but I walked away feeling very proud, and I have that memory stuck in my head. Hopefully it'll be there forever.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah. And so what kind of, your music kind of, you have a variety of genres, I guess, but you're a pianist and you have some rock elements in there. So what kind of inspired you to write the style of music that you do?
I think just in general in music, what we're influenced by comes from who we listen to and how we present ourselves on a regular basis playing that music. I've always thought that I wanted to be a film composer. When I was younger, I was very much into film music and musical theater. And so there are a lot of elements that I have, I believe, in my blood from that. And of course, listening to artists like Elton John, Billy Joel, Adele, Cher, Celine Dion, in my opinion, all those great artists have, influence rubs off onto the next artist. And yeah, my music has had a lot of different aspects to it. People have said, oh, that's got a musical theater flair, that has a rock flair, that has a pop flair. I kind of tend to stick to the 70s and 80s classic vintage idea and sound for those eras. But I learned so much as I go writing different music that I hope to stretch myself and challenge myself with adding what my thought of my music is with those 70s and 80s rock styles. I mean, I love it.
And what really impresses me about your music is I really sense that you try to connect with community. And over the last, 2 years, when we've been going through this difficult time, I remember you did door-to-door, like caroling almost to people. And I know your music video, Family is Love. You filmed it in Red Deer, and you had people from the community come out to be a part of the music videos. And so can you tell me a little bit about, the sort of the community feeling or the things you try to accomplish with your music?
Absolutely. Connection is key to success, and communication and community all help evolve art, in my opinion. And I think, let me rephrase that. I believe that working with a team and developing the product, in that product being the music and the art, is necessary for success. Family is Love was a song that I worked with PDD Clientele, at a location, an extracurricular activity location we had here in Red Deer.
Mm-hmm.
And the lyrics were written by myself, Jess de Leon, and Camille Loren. I did the music, and we managed to get together 50 plus people and film it like you say. We filmed it downtown Red Deer, and it really has brought that sense of community and reminding people that we're not alone. We have to be together, and it was a huge success, and I'm so proud of it, and I am so proud of the people involved with that project.
Mm-hmm.
It was well received everywhere it's been seen or heard.
Mm-hmm.
I like to close off near the end of my shows with Family is Love, and every time I perform it, it seems to hit home and make people remember the importance of family, whoever is in your life, whoever you consider to be family,
Mm-hmm.
and which was something I wanted to do. You had mentioned doing door-to-door, singing telegrams.
Yeah.
Yes, that was something I suggested to me. Why don't you do that during our crazy times in the world with the pandemic?
Mm-hmm.
And of course, an artist has to survive, especially if it's your only choice of job.
Yeah.
And so I started doing door-to-door telegrams for people. They would call me up and say, "Can you go sing this to my grandmother who lives in this city?" Or would you go sing this for my, not necessarily for them, they would order and request it or for it to be sung to another family.
Yeah.
And oddly enough, the most song that was chosen was Family is Love, because they would go and listen to some of the repertoire that I have out there, and they would be like, "Can you go sing Family is Love?" They would have a choice of song, and there were other songs, but
Yeah.
so that was the connection with Family
Well,
is
that's
Love.
amazing. I mean, I think the thing that's important about this show too is, we know a lot about music and is important to the fans that come out to see the concerts, and it can have a meaningful impact to the people enjoying the music. But I'd like to know from your perspective, having been maybe not able to play music or perform as much during the lockdown times, why is musical, why is live performance and that element of it, how is it important to you, and what do you get from performing to other people?
That's a great question. It's been hit and miss during all these times right now because venues have been closed, restrictions are implemented. And for me, I love, my most exciting moments for me is performing live for an audience.
Mm-hmm.
I love connecting with them. I love seeing their smiles. I love seeing them mouth the lyrics when they're sitting in their seats or dancing. Their energy really fuels me, and there's nothing better than performing for an audience. I think that a lot of artists who were not able to perform live during the lockdown over these last couple of years have unfortunately lost a little bit of that connection to music, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I know for myself, not being able to perform has been hurtful in my heart because it's a gift that I am choosing to share.
Mm-hmm.
But there are many, many other priorities when running a music business, and as an indie artist, what needs to be done. So to think that there's been no opportunity at this point in time right now to share your music, there's been lots of opportunity to work the back end of a business in the music industry. Educate yourself. This has been a great time to take education and learn how to do marketing, learn how to work budgets and finances. And I can certainly say that working on all of that back end of the company for what Curtis Labelle Music is has allowed me to create the opportunity and the dream to get back to performing live now that things are lifting and we can as artists get back out there to perform. I'm much smarter and wiser now to know how to perform that and to be more successful, to share my gift, because I know the back end. And it's an evolution of constant knowledge and growing, which is addictive.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a sense of pride. So, yes, I am looking forward to getting back out there and performing across Canada.
Well, we were talking a little bit about your solo music, so I'm just wondering, would you mind to play something for us now?
Always a pleasure. Let's do it.
You dreamed the day you had your light shining in your face. You walked on stage and felt the crowd screaming your name. Looking at the band playing every song you wrote. Listen to the story and the lyrics and the notes. Wanna be a star shining brighter than before. There's a place for you, it's what you've been looking for. It's been a long time, you're in the right place, and your time is now. Put your hand out and shout, reach for the stars. Oh, reach for the stars. There's a moment when you hold your breath, it's moving fast, knowing that the journey has to come to a pass. When the feeling takes a hold of you and you feel the best, look around and take that breath to make the moment last. Only now the time is to live a dream, live a dream. Feel proud you made it happen, you're no longer 17. You're in the big time now with your name in lights. Put your hand out and shout, reach for the stars. Oh, reach for the stars. Because you'll never know how far you'll go. 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 Reach for the stars. Oh, reach for the stars. Oh, reach for the stars. Oh, reach for the stars.
Wow, Curtis, that was amazing. You know, I love your music, and thank you so much for letting us hear that and enjoy it.
You're welcome.
You're about to embark on a national tour. Can you tell me a little bit about, you know, the plans and what that all entails?
Yes, the plans change every day. There are so many factors involved. There's so many people involved in planning such a large project. And this is my first tour. And so I'm learning a lot as I go. And I'm thankful for the amount of people that have been a part of it. But from signing contracts to marketing to rehearsals to set lists to wardrobe, and it has been great. But the most exciting part is being able to get on the road for the first time, travel with the band. I'm looking forward to. This may be, you know, something that a more established artist in the professional industry like Elton John, maybe he does, I'm not sure, but I know I'm getting excited for the moment that the new road case for the piano shell with the High on Pride logo on it rolling into a venue, the costumes and the wardrobe rolling into the venue, and I'm excited for that as well, every aspect of it. There's two parts to the tour. This spring into the early summer, We are middle of Canada into the eastern part, all the way to Ontario. So we have Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, Quebec, and Ontario. Of course, we're still waiting for some restrictions and lockdowns to be lifted in certain provinces. And then that'll go from March to June. And then we take a couple months off because we have some festivals to perform at. And I'm working on my Christmas album.
Oh.
Yeah, that's coming out. Kind of dropped that just now. And then we're doing a little Western tour with doing more in Alberta, Yukon, and BC from September to October. And then out comes the Christmas album, and then we do a bunch of Christmas shows. And eventually the plan is to get out into the far eastern part of Canada, Nova Scotia, Newfoundland, New Brunswick, PEI. That originally was in the works, but...
Take me with you.
Right?
No.
COVID still exists, unfortunately. So as we go, that's been one of the learning things. You know, we're not biting off more than we can chew, but we're following rules and regulations, and we're forging ahead. We're excited. We're booking shows every day. We are making promotional material. It's the most. 2022 is going to rock.
Well, and you mentioned it a little bit earlier, but I just want to give you your due props, because I think that's what impressed me about yourself, and not only your music, but like yourself as an artist. Because, like you said, during COVID, you've really worked on marketing yourself. You did some live performance, like you did shows on Facebook Live. You did shows, Christmas shows, or I remember you doing a theater show. So the way you've evolved and not let these restrictions or these things limit you as an artist is really impressive.
Thank you. It's hard work, perseverance, and creating. You know what can't be taken away? The government might be able to take away a lot of things, and they might be able to restrict us. But what they cannot take away is creativity from an artist. You cannot take that away. You can't, try and take away my piano. Try and take away my mental capacity to create something. So it's a matter of, do you want it bad enough? And if you want it, you can go out and get it. You can achieve whatever you put your mind to. That truly is. How you do anything is how you do everything. So am I going to complain and whine about not being able to do a show? No. Yes, when we did start doing live stream performances to keep that connection with people and to offer them the opportunity of live, but not face to face, it was a different feeling. But we still did it. We still created. I've written some great music that is... in my mind, never thought that I would be writing. Again, going back to the question, what inspires you? All of that, the growth in that has been amazing, because I've created it during these unprecedented times. I've been safe in the studio, and mental capacity, I understand that there is some... challenges there, but what we choose to do with our journey is extremely important, and especially as an artist. Again, you can't take that away. I can say this much though. When we did do our first live show in front of an audience again, when we had some restrictions lifted and it was like, oh, let's go do a show, it was like, it wasn't like learning how to ride a bike again. It was fairly straightforward. But what was weird was, normally when we were performing live, we couldn't hear the audience clap on Facebook or on Zoom. Yeah. I couldn't tell. We'd play a song and then it'd be silence.
Wow. Yeah.
So when we heard the first roar of applause and people screaming after doing a live show again, that was weird. That was very surreal. It was a surreal moment, reminding me that this is what I'm meant to do.
Yeah, as a comedian, I can definitely relate to that feeling of not having the feedback that you need.
You tell a joke that's funny and nobody laughs.
Well, you hope the joke is funny. It's a new joke, so you don't know yet, right? But
Probably not the best way to experiment new jokes.
yeah, fair enough. Or people that are from like all over the world that might not even understand all elements of your joke. So,
Right.
but this next song is "Pawn in My Shade," and I love it because of the message and the soulful bluesy feeling in the music. I hope you enjoy it as well.
I don't look at you the same way that you see me. All the heartless lies deep inside your eyes, the blows and shows you say that stab my mind. All the same, I'm leaving you behind. Take my hand and show me where you wanna play. The drug inside my brain is a losing game. Twist and turn the words you made me say. You're just a pawn that's standing in my shade. I'll let you go, I'll let you go, we're not feeling the same. I'm not your future and you know I'm not the one to blame. I'll let you go, we're not feeling the same. You're not my future and you know I'm not playing your game. Every time I look around the room I see your face. Making time to change my mind, I'm not going to chase. Hearing things that I don't really wanna know. I walk away from you, my blood, my soul, my soul. I'll let you go, we're not feeling the same. I'm not your future and you know I'm not the one to blame. I'll let you go, we're not feeling the same. You're not my future and you know I'm not playing your game. The same way that you see me. All the heartless lies deep inside your eyes. Twist and turn the words you made me fade. You're just a pawn that's standing in my shade.
See, I told you that was going to be awesome. You have songs like, you know, you have Pawn in My Shade or You Have Family Is Love. I love your music and I love the lyrics, but also what I really like is your just the album that you did where you're just talking about, or where you just had just the piano, right? And for me to strip that down and just to focus on that and just hear that, and sometimes I'll throw that on kind of like late at night to just kind of like help myself relax. But like that's for me was important to just, you know, because that to me is probably the most impressive part, is the ability, how you're able to, the magic you're able to weave with a piano, essentially.
Oh, I like that. The magic I weave with a piano. That sounds like a great album already coming in the works. It sounds like you're wanting me to do another piano album.
Well, it's up to you.
No, you know what? I definitely, not to should on myself, because, you know, when you're shooting on people, that's nasty. However, I absolutely thank you for sharing that with me. There are a few people that listen to that album, or there's a lot of people that don't know about that album. It's called Imagination. And that was a project I did in 2020 when COVID kind of first came out. And again, what am I going to do? Another process of time to create. This isn't this. I got all this downtime to do things, learn about stuff, educate, take classes. Well, I'm going to create. So I did that album. I wrote that album in a month. There are 10 tracks on it. It is my first instrumental album. I have a few other instrumental piano pieces on out there. And I sat down at the piano and I wrote and I wrote and I wrote and I wrote. And it is different. And I feel like I want to do another instrumental piano album. Just because it's different from everything, you know, from rock music, from pop music, bluesier music. Pawn in My Shade is a little bit more bluesier, blues rock sort of. So, yeah, thank you for inspiring me again, and thank you for sharing your thoughts on that, because I believe it's time to release more instrumental piano music.
Yeah, so, and one other question I had was kind of about, do you think that over the years that how you write music has evolved, or the process for how you come about it? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Absolutely. Because it's art and music is, you know, one could argue that math is the universal language, but not everybody understands math. Not everybody is, you know, astute in that form. But everybody can understand music. They may not in their own way, right? I could give you a calculus. We could be given calculus. You might be able to understand it better than me. But if we sit down and listen to the song, we're both kind of having a concept and understanding it and are open up for interpretation. So the evolution of my music has been because of the people that I've worked with, the people that I have connected with in this industry, the A&R label representatives from certain companies across the globe, being open to feedback so that you can learn from other individuals. And that's not to say that that's where it needs to go, but as an artist, it's important for me to be open to that feedback so I can take those tools and keep putting into my tool belt what I can pull out. I look at Pawn in My Shade being the first song that I put out as a singer-songwriter independently, and I look at my new song that's coming out March 4th called On the Gun. And the two of them are the execution of songwriting, the execution of singing it, articulation, the words, the impact, the style of the music. It has grown exponentially. If it doesn't, then we become stagnant. And if it's become stagnant, then it's best that I think the artist reevaluates their ability to being open to receiving that constructive criticism, be open to hearing what somebody else hears, right? Everything's based on an opinion, so don't believe a word they say.
Okay. Well, and so you mentioned a little bit, you said you're inspired by Elton John, people like Celine Dion, but are there people, personally, whether it's a vocal coach or something that have helped you to get where you are? And
Absolutely. I
make
would
you the
just,
person?
you say vocal coach. I would say recently, one of the things that I started, working on myself, getting prepped for the tour, getting to the gym, eating healthy because I'm going to be doing about 4 shows a week. We're on the road. It's going to be tiresome. One of the things I wanted to get back to was my voice. As a vocal instructor, yes, I'm teaching. I'm not necessarily practicing, though, as one of the hardest things is for us to practice what we preach, right? In my own opinion. So for me, it was, let's go back to my vocal coach. And I went back to my vocal coach from 20 years ago. And it has been a phenomenal experience being reminded of what the voice can do, and new things, which in turn have brought me to approaching my music differently, and how to write for my voice better, how to use the voice and utilize those money notes, we call them, the higher notes, if you will, in the world of... You don't want to hear Mariah Carey, in my opinion, singing all the way up there, right? She comes down, and then all of a sudden you hear the voice go back up. What are the acrobatics of the voice, and how do we get the opportunity to use it properly? So I've written a few songs prior to being vocal coached again, where it's just, in your face, here we are,
Yeah.
It doesn't become phonologically acceptable to the person, and it's like some people say,
Oh, okay.
oh, I don't like your singing. Is it the singing, or is it the way the song was written?
Oh, okay.
Right? So I've learned a lot going back to vocal coaching and taking that and getting ready for the tour, for sure. And so I'm excited to write new music.
Yeah. And I mean, I think you've already made a big impact with your music. But what kind of legacy are you hoping to kind of like, I know that's a big question to ask, but like what, is there...
Well, right now you can head over to curtislabelle.com/merchandise and you can buy yourself something that has my name on it. No.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Legacy. You know what? Art will never die. Right? No. So legacy, I want people, that's a question that I've never been asked before, I don't think. If I had it, I would want people to be reminded that I was a nice person, that I spoke my truth, I gave back to the community, I respected people, and that I am respected. I'm honored, that I honor people, because in the industry, in my opinion, people don't buy my music. Advertising music isn't going to make people listen to music. Advertising who you are as a person.
Your personality.
Your truth, your why. That's what people want to hear. And that's what people want to see. The vulnerability. I posted a video about me drinking a specific kind of coffee. I probably gained about 5 new followers on Instagram because of that. And because of that, they then go, oh, who's Curtis Labelle? Oh, he's an artist. Oh, we're going to listen to his music. But if I stand out there and I just promote my music, nobody, the response is not. So, yeah.
Yeah. I guess it's just about getting people to know who you are and just beyond your music to...
I'm not perfect. I'm not the nicest person. I'm not Mother Teresa. But I want people to remember who I am for me and why I live my life the way I do.
Yeah. Well, I just want to say that I enjoy your music a lot, and it's made an impact on me. So thank you for your music, and I'm excited to hear some of it today. And thanks for being on the show.
This has been an absolute pleasure. This is the first one, right? This is the first of Off the Record.
Yeah. Well. First of many, hopefully.
First of many. Yeah. I think this is a great thing. I have had a blast, Nick. You are an inspiration to a lot of people, and I love watching your journey, and I think that's all we have in this world is not all we have, but one of the big things is to support people. So thank you for your support. Thank you for listening to my music, and thank you for having me on your show.
Thanks, yeah. Well, once again, thank you to my guest, Curtis Labelle, and thank you to everyone for tuning into the show. There's going to be lots of other amazing artists I have coming up on Off the Record, so make sure you stay tuned to Off the Record with Niek Theelen for some more amazing music.